allégations
go live right
dans les
now to
documents.
NDP Leader Singh making an announcement in Toronto on the campaign trail. Let's listen in live.
Aurait
The
encouragé Pierre
allegations
Poilievre de dire oui, je
alone
dois
should have encouraged Pierre Poilievre to say that, yes, I should get my security clearance to find out what's going on, and I want the information to be able to protect our country. But he decided no. And the question is why? Why did he decide not to get his security clearance so that he could get more information? He could have gotten the answer. Was it an attack? And is it a real threat? He's had the opportunity for years to get his security clearance and the opportunity to get those details. But the question really is, why has he decided not to prioritize his country over his party?
Well, please. Former leader of your party has declared this election essentially a two-way race between the Liberals and Conservatives. Public opinion polls seem to show that that is the case. How much of that is your fault? And are you worried that the NDP might not be a real player at all in the next parliament?
Every election, this is a question that New Democrats get, so it's not like a new thing. Every election we get this question. And if people are wondering, will I give up on someone like Aaron? Will I give up on fighting for people that need me to fight for them? No. Hell no. I'm never going to give up. I don't care what's going on. I'm always going to be there to fight for people. There's billionaires that have parties on their side. You know, Pierre Poilievre is going to take care of the billionaires. Mark Carney is going to take care of companies like Brookfield, where he was the president or the chair of. He's going to support those big companies to exploit people. People like Aaron need someone that's going to fight for them. That's me. I'm never going to back down. I'm never going to give up. I'm always going to fight for the people that need it most. C'est une question posée pour l'NPD dans potentiellement chaque élection. Donc, ce n'est pas une question rare. Ça se passe tout le temps. Et on est prêt. Mais si la question, c'est est-ce qu'on va arrêter de se tenir debout pour les gens comme Aaron, la réponse est non. Ben non. On est là pour défendre les gens comme Aaron. Les milliardaires, les géants immobiliers, ils ont des gens comme Mark Carney, qui était le président d'une entreprise comme un géant immobilier dans le passé. Ils ont des gars comme ça qui vont défendre leurs intérêts. Pierre Poilievre a déjà montré qu'il est quelqu'un qui veut défendre.
Pierre Poilievre has already shown himself to be someone who's looking to stand up for CEOs. And millionaires know that Pierre Poilievre is going to help them. But for the average Canadian and the people who really need help, the workers of our country, I'll continue fighting for you.
Hi, Mr. Singh, Esri Global News. You've said the NDP's been here before, but these are some of the worst polling numbers we've seen in a long time. So, I mean, the poll out from Angus said 50% of the people who voted NDP in the last election are planning on voting Liberal. So what's your response to that? And, you know, we've asked you this question repeatedly, but you haven't really acknowledged it. Is there a danger to not acknowledging just how unpopular the party is right now?
Well, I think this election is a really important election. And I think people need to know their choices in this election. And the job of the campaign is to make those choices clear. I'm going to take my job really seriously in this campaign. I'm going to campaign really, really aggressively to let people know the choice. And the choice is really important. We're laying out right now the troubles and the worries that Erin's going through. She's going through these worries, going through these struggles because of a company called Brookfield Investment. And the direction of that company was set by the board. Mark Carney was the chair of that company, the chair of the board that sets the strategic vision and direction of that company. And they decided, in their publicly available reports, that they looked at depressed assets. So they looked at buildings which had cheaper rent and said, there's an incredible opportunity. In fact, in their own words, in their report, they said, there's no better opportunity since the financial crisis of 2008 than this housing crisis to buy up buildings where people have affordable rent and find ways to squeeze more profit out of them. That was their strategic direction. This is the guy that now wants to be prime minister. I think it is very troubling that that is a person who claims to want to have solutions to the problems that people like Aaron are going through. I think people need to know that that is not the guy. I'm really worried about someone like that making decisions in our country that are going to favor the companies that he worked for. and are going to hurt people like Aaron. I think people need to know that. I'm really worried myself about that. I'm worried about what that would mean for this country. I'm really worried about what Pierre Poilievre is proposing, to sell off our public land, to cut services, to cut healthcare at a time when people are already so worried. I think that is bad. That is a bad policy. That is a bad set of decisions that's going to hurt people even more at a time when they need help. And so people need us. They need New Democrats. So if you believe that we should fight back against the corporate greed in housing and grocery stores that is jacking up the prices in your life, vote NDP. If you believe that we have to defend our public universal healthcare system, vote NDP. If you believe that you deserve to afford your groceries, to be able to build a good life, to be able to take care of your kid, and to be able to go to work and save up for a rainy day and maybe retire with a decent pension, vote NDP. We're the only ones in it for you and your family, for working people, for middle-class families. That's us.
En français sur les sondages, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, bien sûr.
Polls?
Donc, les sondages, ça monte, ça change. Mais
The polls
la question pour
show
moi,
things, but they change.
ce qui est important dans cette élection.
The issue for me is what is important in this election. What's the question in this election? And I think it's very important, and I take that very seriously because we have an important choice to make.
Parti libéral avec
The Liberal Party and its leader, Mark Carney, he was the CEO of a real estate corporation. And as the previous owner of Brookfield, we have to ask what his intentions are. He's going to double things like the cost of rent. He's going to take advantage of people and hurt people. And that's important for people to know. It's disappointing, but Mark Carney is not the guy who's going to fix the housing crisis in Toronto. He's not the guy to do that because he's the guy who took advantage of people and took advantage of the housing crisis. It's written in the public report. Pierre Poilievre wants to make things worse. He wants to cut the services that you need so that he can give gifts to his rich friends. So he's not going to fix things, he'll make them worse. In this election, if you want someone who will fight for you, that's us. If you want someone to bring down the cost of living, the cost of rent and groceries, that's us. If you want someone to defend our healthcare system, that's the NDP. So vote for us if you want someone who will fight for you.
Several unions, including those representing Boilermakers and electrical workers, have come out in support of the Conservatives. So why is the NDP losing union support to the Conservatives?
Well, just yesterday, we received the support of QP National, one of the largest public sector unions in this country. And just before that, last week, we received the support and the endorsement of United Steelworkers. These are the workers that are most impacted by the tariffs. These are the workers that are most directly impacted by some of the attacks of Donald Trump on our country. And these workers said, New Democrats have our back. And I'm proud of that. I'm honored and proud to have received their endorsement. And I want folks to know, when you're down and out, when times are tough, who's going to fight for you and who's going to fight for the billionaires? Who's going to put you and your family first? Who's going to say, workers need to be the ones that are the priority in this economy, not rich CEOs? The answer to that question is New Democrats. We are the ones that are going to put you first, always. Prioritize you and your family, always. We are not in it for the billionaires. We're not in it for rich CEOs. We're certainly not in it for companies like Brookfield. We're in it to fight for you against those companies that exploit you.
Merci beaucoup. On va passer français. Oui, en français, s'il vous plaît.